Hello and welcome to Dan Explains. I hope you had a great Easter. Since this is Easter week, I was going to do a short video, but when I fleshed this thing out, it ended up being not so short, but it's a medium length rather than a long one, so buckle up. For this video, we're going to do another stab at the Let's Speculate. If you're a Christian, at some point, you've probably wondered about what it will be like after the final resurrection. I mean, we won't need to eat or drink, although we will be able to. How will our resurrected bodies work? Let's speculate. From the Bible, we know that not only will our bodies be resurrected at the end of time, but our bodies will be glorified bodies that don't need food or water, and, just assuming here, air. How can we find out? Well, we do have one example of someone walking around in a glorified body, and that's Jesus after the resurrection. There's also the episode of the Transfiguration. However, I think that's more how our souls perceive Christ, rather than an accurate representation of a glorified body. Since Jesus walked around and interacted with people after his resurrection in a glorified body, and the authors didn't describe him the same as in the account of the Transfiguration. So, how did his body work after the resurrection? Well, for one, he could pass through solid matter, even though he could pick things up and eat. He could also move vast distances. Although we can't guarantee, once resurrected, we will have these abilities. Jesus could have been working miracles to move around and walk through walls as a sign to his disciples. Also, he may have been pulling the good old Game of Thrones in the last 2 seasons, where they didn't have enough time left if everyone was walking everywhere, so they pretty much just magically appeared to where they needed to be to accomplish the mission. There are a couple of things we can glean, however. Jesus still had his wounds from his passion and death. Now, I don't think our glorified bodies will have the wounds that we sustained in our death. If that were the case, heaven, at least after the resurrection, would not be for the faint of heart. I think Jesus retained those wounds so that when we see him, we will be reminded of what he did for us. At any rate, he wasn't bleeding from those wounds, and he was still alive in spite of having a hole in his heart. That means his glorified body was being sustained by something else. Even though he's alive, he doesn't need blood flow to sustain it. This may be because the body is somehow directly sustained by the soul, or maybe some new physics that didn't normally apply in this universe. Beyond the accounts in the Bible, there's also some physical evidence we have examples of today that corroborate the idea that something else is sustaining life in the glorified flesh. That's something called a Eucharistic miracle. What's that? Most people outside of the Catholic circles are unaware of these things. Us Catholics believe that during communion, we are receiving the actual physical body of Jesus Christ. Not in a cannibalistic sort of way, but instead of Jesus becoming us, we become part of Jesus. It's one of the reasons the church, with a big C, is considered part of Christ's body, because through communion, that becomes not just spiritually, but physically true as well. Anyway, occasionally there are miracles that occur that reveal the outward appearance of a Eucharistic host. You know, the little round wafer as flesh. Again, I say outward appearance because we Catholics believe it is Jesus' flesh with an outward appearance of bread. so its true nature is being revealed. Anyway, these miracles have happened on many occasions in the last couple thousand years, and usually don't decay. I may go into the details of these miracles in another video, but what's of interest here is the tissue that makes up these hosts. Anyway, they have been examined by medical professionals, and it always appears to be cardiac heart tissue. The cells are generally alive, but in a state of stress. The blood type is always AB, and they can't extract any DNA, in spite of the fact the cells seem to have DNA and appear to be alive. So, if these miracles do represent part of Jesus' glorified body, we can see the cells appear to be sustained by something, or function like a biological perpetual motion machine. In our universe, I really do think it takes a direct act of God for a body and its cells to react like that. However, that may not be necessary after the final resurrection. If we were able to take a closer look, we may be able to figure out some of the molecular mechanisms involved, but I doubt it. To sum it up, we might be able to do things like walk through walls and teleport. Maybe. Our bodies will not be destructible or need food and water, because life functions will be sustained by something beyond our current understanding. However, we will still be able to eat and drink because our bodies will be fully functional. On a final side note, the souls who go to hell will participate in the final resurrection as well and get their bodies back right before judgment. But instead of glorified bodies, they'll be horrified. Okay, I know. 2 puns in one short video is too many. But the bodies of the saved and the damned will be invincible, at least in the next life. However, for the damned, that will be a bad thing. A very bad thing. Once they are thrown back into hell, they'll wish their bodies were destructible. If you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe to my channel, and ding the bell to get notified when I post new videos. Also, please support me on Patreon, link in the description. The more people who support me, the more time I can dedicate to making videos like this one. So, until next time, have a great week and a happy Easter.